Good evening, everybody. It's Cutler here in the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast, the Let's Talk to Cutler program. It is the 20th of July already. The month is almost over, but we are here every Tuesday and Thursday, and I'm so glad that you all meet me here because I'm only here for 1,800 seconds. We tend to spend some time talking about how we can show up a little bit better tomorrow than we did today. So if you're just perusing by my channel, this is your first time, don't go anywhere. Hold up, stop. This channel is about inspiration, motivation, and challenging each other to show up better tomorrow than we did today. That's what it's all about. And it doesn't mean that today was a wash. Doesn't mean that today was all bad. It just means that we take the time to see before the day ends, how can we improve a little bit on tomorrow based on some of the things that we learned and that we did and that we will have shared today. All right, so if this is your first time, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe. Make sure that you click on the notification bell so that you will know whenever I've gone live and whenever I'm uploading new content. All right, so make sure that you do that. And let me ask you this question. Make sure that you also click on like and click on share and just come on into the chat and chat with me for a while. But let me ask you all this. Have you ever had the occasion to have guests coming over and you knew that your house was not as tidy as it should have been? What did you do with all of the stuff? I'm just sort of curious. I want to know that. Let's talk about that when I come right back. Meanwhile, click on the like, the share, and tell people, come on, let's talk to Cutler. I'll be right back right after this, okay?
Let's talk to Cutler. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk to Cutler.
Well, all right, you all, it's Cutler here. I'm only here for 1,800 seconds, so make sure that you share this with each other. Make sure that you share it with your friends and tell them Cutler is here and it's time for us to spend these 1,800 seconds together. So do me a favor. Go ahead and do a like on the conversation, a thumbs up on the conversation if you don't mind. It says to the YouTube, hey, I kind of like what the guy's talking about, but it also encourages me. It lets me know that, hey, I'm listening and I'm finding at least a little bit of value, some small nuggets coloring what you have to share. So do me that favor, if you will. All right. Let's see. You all know how we do. Every Tuesday we meet here and we read our quotes from this book here, Billboards to Better, 366 Daily Sources of Motivation and Inspiration Along the Highway of Life. Every Tuesday, every Thursday. So on Tuesdays, we'll read the quote for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Yes, I'm getting my days, they're running together. But on Tuesdays, we would read the quotes from Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then on Thursdays, we would read the quotes for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yes, there's the quote for Saturday, but I let you take it and do whatever you want to do with it. Use it as a part of your meditation. Use it to start a conversation, but just make sure that you share it. If you want to get the book, it's available on Amazon.com, or you can go out to my website. It's www.gbcutler.com, and it will just jump you over to Amazon. But you can pick up the book. You don't need the book to join the conversation, but it helps to have it so that way you can wake up every day, wake up every morning, and you can read the quote for the day. And when we get together, you can see what was the backstory. What did Cutler have to share about all of that? Okay, so you can definitely do that. And there are a few bonus quotes. Believe it or not, there are a few bonus quotes at the back of the book just for you all, just for buying it. So again, thank you all. Let me just shout out our LTTC VIPs. Those are the people who tend to jump on in the chat room first. So sometimes I know the race is on. I've had people to say, no, you didn't call my name because I was there first, but I'm just going by what shows up on my end. So please charge it to my technology on this end if you end up in the chat room first. But again, let me just shout out our LTTC VIPs. And I tell you, you all are what I call passengers because we are all riding along this highway. We're riding along this highway trying to get better and get to that space, and that place is called better, but we don't want to show up alone. We're traveling with our fellow passengers. Our LTTC VIPs this evening, Annie Cutler says, let's ready. She says, ready to ride. Ray Della Lewis, my friend, always glad to see you. She says, hi all. And then there's my good friend, also known as Lady, Audrey Winfrey, who says hi. She says, hi, Gregory. Hi. But Wendy, Tracy, Rosella, it's so good to see all of you all. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the quotes for our conversation this evening. Yes, I'd love to have a conversation. I want to know where you all are. I want to know, want to get to know, because when you all show up from all different spaces and different places, it gives me an opportunity to say hi wherever you are. So I'm sending a shout out to Wendy in New York. So if you, hey, just let me know where you all are. I'll just try to shout out where you're located. So hi, Wendy, there in New York. We're going to go ahead and get started. Our quotes are for July 18th. And you all know these are probably going to be some transparent moments. But remember the opening question: when you have guests and your house is not quite as tidy as you want it, where do you hide all the stuff? Where do you hide all the stuff? And I guess I'm going to have to be transparent and tell you some of the stuff that I've done. But let me go to the quote for July 18th. It says, people won't travel with you if they can't trust in you. People won't travel with you if they can't trust in you. With all that you might offer or possess, before you expect people to trail you, give them a reason to trust you. When I wrote this quote, you all, I thought about all the times that people want relationships of all different sorts. But really, they really don't want to do the work. They want the relationships, but they don't want to do the work. I thought about how we sometimes don't put the energy into building relationships. I thought about how we want people to follow us. And that's what this quote was all about. How we sometimes want people to follow us, how we want people to support us, how we want people to respond to us, how we want people to buy our products. We want people to utilize our services, how we want people to get with our programs or our visions or our businesses. And all of those things entail relationships. And the one thing that I've discovered is that we cannot avoid the oh so important step of building the relationship. You've got a relationship is something that we have to build. And building a relationship is sometimes similar to building a house, you all. You can't expect to build a house until you clear out the land, clear out the shrubbery, clear out the terrain, and pour a solid foundation. A relationship is pretty much like that. And in relationships, a relationship has to have a foundation of trust. It has to have a foundation of trust. When I first started this platform, and this is me sharing this transparent moment with you all. When I first started this platform, my friends and producers reminded me that I was offering a service. I was thinking, hey, this started during the pandemic, and it was a time for us to strengthen each other and renew our energy so that we can just make it through the pandemic. That was the origin of this platform. But it got to a point, and I was going through one of my books. I first started by going through this book. It was the book club. That's how we started. We started talking about when I'm overwhelmed. And then some of you said, no, can we just keep talking? You have another book. Can we just keep talking? So then we talked about this book. We don't always get it right the first time. We extracted the lessons and we talked about that. And so now, during the pandemic, I was fortunate and blessed enough to produce this book, my 7th book. And we went on to this book. So there was continuity in what was happening. And my friends and producers said to me, at this point, you're offering a service. And they told me that if I expected people to show up, then I had to consistently offer them something to show up for. They told me that I had to create an environment. They told me that I had to create this environment where people would see that not only was there content, but there was consistency in how I offered it. They reminded me that not only did I have to have content and consistency, but that people also wanted to see that I had character. They said people would want to know whether or not this is a genuine person or whether or not this is someone just blowing smoke and wasting our time. That's what my friends told me. They didn't cut any corners, you all. They were very truthful with me. And what they reminded me was that it didn't matter how many books I'd written, didn't matter how many degrees I had, because people don't trust books and people don't trust degrees, but they trust your character. They trust how you treat people. They trust how you show up. They trust your integrity and they trust your spirit. That's what my friends reminded me of. And so I challenge all of us this evening to make sure that we give people something that they can trust. Because as the quote says, people are less inclined to trail or travel with you if they can't trust you. People are less inclined to trail or travel with you if they can't trust you. And it doesn't matter how wonderful you are. It doesn't matter how many gifts you possess or how charismatic you might be. If their sixth sense or their discernment or their intuition or their gut instinct tells them not to trust you, then they're not going to blindly follow you. And if you expect them to follow you, then you need to expect to put in the work to gain their trust. People won't travel with you if they can't trust you. And so may I offer this evening? Start traveling with and following people. Stop traveling with and following people that you don't trust. That is the gift of candor, the gift of honesty, the gift of just being candid. Stop traveling with and following people that you don't trust. Be true to yourself and to them. If every time you turn around, that's really country, that's Southern based on where I'm from. If every time you turn around, you've got to question your loyalty to them or theirs to you, may I suggest that this is perhaps a relationship that needs to be retweaked, recycled, or removed. It's true, you all. At least that's my experience. When you work on a relationship of trust, and when you work on a relationship of trust, and you see that you're not going anywhere, and you see that you're not going anywhere. So you're working to build this relationship of trust. You're working on building this relationship of trust, and you see it's not going anywhere. Count your losses early. Count your losses early in the game. Get out of the game and keep on marching. That's just honesty and integrity. You want to be honest with yourself and honest with others. If you're working on a relationship of trust and it's not working, count your losses early. As I said, it may be a relationship that needs to be retweaked, recycled, or removed. All right, good evening, everybody. You all know what we're doing. We're reading from Billboards to Better, 366 daily sources of motivation and inspiration along the highway of life. We're just marching along this highway, riding along this highway, picking up fellow passengers, traveling together, trying to show up to this space that is called better. And our quote tonight says, the one for July 18th says, as we're traveling, people won't travel with you if they can't trust you. That is why I really try to show up with consistency. I try to show up showing you all my character, showing you who I really am. It is my goal for us to show up to the space in this place that's called better. But what I know, what life has taught me is that, Cutler, people won't travel with you. People won't travel with you if they can't trust you. And so I hope I've offered genuinely something, some words, some contents that you can trust every time I show up. Because when I say I don't want to waste your time, that is so true. It comes from my heart. Good evening to everybody. All right. You all know I'm just shouting out when I see you all shouting out. If you tell me where you're from, I'm going to holler at you and shout out. So Jackie, KS, Tracy, Mika, it's good to see all of you all. All right. I'm going to the quote for July 19th. The quote for July 19th says this: make people matter. Those three words, you all. Make people matter. And then three more words after that. And it says, be kind, humankind. Be kind, humankind. All right. Molly, you're in good time, my friend. No worries. All right. So this quote that says, make people matter and be kind, be humankind. I'm telling you, some of you have heard me talk about how one of the greatest lessons in my life that I've learned about interacting with people comes from my mother. My mother taught me not to let people come in and out of your life without paying attention to them, without getting to know them. So it is true. Whenever I see people that I've seen from time to time, I'm able to say, oh, you got a haircut. Or if I see people who used to walk upright and they go to walking with a limp, it makes me say to them, hey, are you doing okay? Are you all right? Pay attention to people. That's what I was taught. My mother taught me to look at people's faces so you can decide whether they're happy or whether they're sad, so that way you know how to respond to them. And she often says to me, sometimes I hear you saying that I taught you all of these things. I don't remember saying them. Well, Mom, you may not have said them so eloquently, but you taught me through example and precept all of these things. And so through my mother's teaching, I came to appreciate people, you all, as gifts from God. I came to understand that I was no better than anybody else. But catch this, I understood that nobody else was any better than I. I came to understand that in addition to being a good steward over the things of my life, I also had to be a good steward over the people who came into my life. So consequently, I ended up developing this philosophy that if God was going to get me for anything, it would not be for mishandling his people. May I be transparent as I so often am? Let me just say this. This doesn't mean that all of my interactions with people have always been pure or perfect, but I'm thankful and grateful that at some point in my life, you all, I understood the importance of not misusing, not mishandling, not misappropriating, not misleading, not mistreating, or not misloving God's people. I grew up with, and I later had to re-implement the mantra of treating people like I want to be treated. If I want people to acknowledge, that's what this is. Make people matter. Be kind, be humankind. I understood that if I want people to acknowledge my presence, my value, and my contribution to society, then I have to do the same thing for them. That's humankind. If I want people to understand when their words are misaligned and inappropriately delivered, then I need to be prepared to do the same thing. That's being humankind. If I want people to be concerned whether or not their behavior and their actions or their words create a space of offense for me, then I need to be able to do the same thing for them. That's being humankind. If I want to be extended love, grace, forgiveness, and sometimes a chance to start all over, then I need to be prepared to do the same thing for others. You all, that's being humankind. I'm just offering examples because I get those quotes and sometimes people say, well, what did you mean, Cutler? What does that mean? If I want my sensitivities and sensibilities acknowledged and my differences and opinions respected, then I need to be prepared to do the same thing for other people. That's making people matter, and that's being humankind, you all. If I want to be heard and treated like a human because I matter, all of who I am matters, then I need to be prepared to do the same thing for others. I'm just chatting. If I want equity and equality, reparations, retributions, redemptions for the times that I'm treated wrong, then I need to be prepared to do the same thing for others. That is being humankind. If I want to believe that people came into my life to help me, then I must believe that I came into their lives to help them. That is being fair. That's being humankind. So as this quote says, make people matter. We went through this movement over the past few months, and there were people who had arguments and challenges about whether certain lives matter, whether Black lives matter or all lives matter. Well, my challenge to us right now as I chat this evening, make people matter. Make people matter, you all, because they do. And you only get one chance to show a person that he or she does not matter. And then when you show them that they don't matter to you and they choose to go another route, you can't say a word if they choose not to come back into your life, no matter how many times you apologize, because they might accept your apology, but they may not accept your presence. May I say that again? When you create an offense and cause people to walk the other way, they might accept your apology, but they may not accept your presence back into their life. Wendy, you're absolutely right. As far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Follow peace with all men. All right? Make people matter. I want to move on. You all know how I say it, and I mean it from my heart. I only have 1,800 seconds. I don't want to waste your time. I need to make every second significant. Every moment matter, and every minute must be meaningful. All right? So I'm just speaking from the heart. That's all I'm doing this evening. And you all know how we do it every Tuesday and Thursday. Show up at 8 o'clock, go through the quotes for on Tuesdays for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then on Thursdays, I'll go for the quotes for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. By the time you get to one for Saturday, do whatever you want to do with it. Use it to start a conversation. Use it as part of your meditation. But for goodness sakes, please use it, all right? And then let's come back here and talk about it. I want to get to our final quote for this evening. Thank you all for being here. Yes, I've shouted out some people. I see you from PC, Pamlico County in the house, Jay Song, Yvonne. It's so good to see all of you all. All right. The quote for July 20th says this: without a clean heart, a clean building means nothing to God. Without a clean heart, a clean building means nothing to God. And I know some of you all are trying to anticipate what way might Cutler go with that. What spin might he put on it this evening? Well, let me share this with you all. I'm getting ready to share something with you all, but I don't want you to hold it against me, okay? Remember, I opened the conversation by asking you, whenever you have guests who are visiting and your house is not as tidy as it otherwise should or could be, what do you do with the stuff? What do you do with the stuff when somebody says, hey, I'm 5 minutes away, just want to stop by, and you know your house is in shambles? What do you do? Just put it in the chat. I won't embarrass you, but at least I'll read them, right? All right. So I want to know, have you ever had guests coming over, but you didn't have ample time to thoroughly clean up? So you hurriedly push things in the closet or the laundry room. Wendy, yes. You put them in the closet. Jason, yes, I hide the stuff. I've done the same thing. I put them in the closet. I put them in the laundry room. I'm guilty. Let me tell you all this. I'm guilty of online shopping, lots of online shopping. So I've had as many as like 20 Amazon boxes, maybe even more in my house at one time. And I remember this one time, so friends were going to stop by. I had boxes everywhere, but I didn't have time to sort through the boxes. I didn't have time to go through and break the boxes down before they got here. So you all, guess what I did? I tossed Jackie. I've done the same thing in the dryer. Yes. So when they showed up, let me tell you what I did. I put things in my laundry room. I put things in the coat closet. I tossed some of the boxes in my bedroom, and I closed the doors, knowing that my house was not in its normal tidy condition. I've done that. If I had a basement, I'd throw them down in the basement, but I don't. So, but you all know what? To my friends and my guests, when they showed up, I'm sure my house looked quite decent and presentable. But I knew what was going on behind the scenes. And I just kept saying, all right, I hope they don't have to open the coat closet. I hope nobody needs to go to my laundry room for any reason. And every stuff was everywhere. It looked decent to them, but I knew what was going on behind the scenes. And I believe that our lives are sometimes like that in the eyes of the Creator. I believe that we are sometimes polished, wonderful, beautiful, handsome, and grand, all on the outside. But behind the scenes, the inside does not match the outside. This is what I call there is no congruence, or it is not parallel. So what's on the inside is not congruent with what's on the outside. What's on the inside is not parallel with what's on the outside. And I can't help. We are the characters. Yes, we are. We're quite the characters. I can't help but believe that we are sometimes caught up, you all, in trying to appeal to the eyes of man, who has limited and myopic vision, that we forget to appeal to the eyes of God, who has unlimited vision. So I want to offer us two things this evening. I really do. The first is a change of strategy. Just want to offer us a change of strategy. This is nothing catastrophic. It's not anything major and tumultuous that you need to do. First thing I want to offer is a change of strategy. I want us to change our strategy from trying to appeal to the masses with limited vision and seek to appeal to the one with unlimited vision. Cutler, why did you say that? I say that, you all, because I'd rather appeal to the one who matters than perhaps to the 1,000 who don't. I think that we sometimes forget that a few stains and scars on the outside doesn't mean that we won't find value on the inside. So the second thing that I want to offer us is a fresh new perspective. A fresh new perspective and how we look at others. Can we agree? Let's not be so quick to assess value based on the superficial presentation that we get from other people. Cutler, what are you saying? Let's stop judging people on how they look on the outside. Let's stop trying to assess value based on what we see when we have had no experience with their heart. The only one who can determine how clean our hearts are, the only one, you all hear me clearly when I say this, so you want me to stop hiding my junk when guests come over unexpectedly. I'm not saying don't hide your junk, but in terms of life, take the perspective that what is happening behind the scenes should be congruent with what's going on in the scenes, in life, not in your house. So the big picture here that I'm saying to us is the only one who can determine how clean our hearts are, you all please get this, is the one who causes them to beat every day. The only one who can determine how clean. This says without a clean heart, a clean building means nothing to God. And I think sometimes we are concerned with how we look on the outside more so than we are on the inside. And I think that is also how we then deflect when it comes to others. We look at them, we base how they look on the inside based on what we see on the inside. But what am I saying? The only one who can determine how clean our hearts are is the one who causes our hearts to beat every day. Then what else do I go on to say? It's enough for me to keep my own heart clean without trying to determine how dirty yours is. That's enough for us to shut down the internet, call it quits, turn the lights off, lower the curtains, and walk off stage. This is me. I grew up and we had all these sayings. You got 6 months to mind your own business and 6 months to take care of 6 months to mind your own business, 6 months to leave everybody else's alone. That was one of the sayings. I just chose to put it this way. It's enough for me to keep my own heart clean. It's enough for me to keep my own heart clean without trying to tell how dirty yours is. All right? It really is. So may I offer us that one other thing. Focus on self. Focus on self. Only one who can determine how clean our hearts are is the one who causes them to beat every day. I grew up, we used to sing the song, "Give me a clean heart." And it was important for us to have clean hearts. And you all, guess what? It still is important. I'm only with you all for 1,800 seconds. I may be with you for a little less than 1,800 seconds this evening, but it's okay. I'm going to give you maybe 200 seconds back tonight. Maybe 200 seconds I'm going to give back to you. But you all, thank you so much for showing up in this space. Whatever space you've allowed me to come into, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Just to recap so that we're very clear. Learn to build relationships where people can trust you. People won't travel with you if they can't trust you. No matter how wonderful you may be, no matter how grand you may be, with all of your gifts and talents, they won't follow you if they won't travel with you if they can't trust you. And then make people matter. Be kind, be humankind. The very thing that you expect from others, learn to give to others. And then without a clean heart, a clean builder means nothing. Make sure that we all strive rather than trying to have a clean heart in the eyes of one who doesn't, of thousands who may not matter. Strive to have a clean heart in the eyes of the one who does. You all, thank you for sharing this space with me. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 o'clock, trying not to waste your time. I'm only here for 1,800 seconds. Do me a favor if you would. Let's keep on building community. Let's keep on maintaining connectivity. Stay safe and stay sane. There's still a pandemic out there, and don't let the people run you crazy. Keep your heads up, but more importantly than that, keep your hopes up. Hopes up as it pertains to who and what color, as it pertains to you. Have an expectation that greatness is inside of you, or that sooner or later the world will see every ounce of greatness that you have to offer. All right? Thank you all. Please know that from my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. Good night to you all. All right. Bye-bye.